How do you make sure that you don't overextend yourself, like financially, like having
Sure.
those 5 or 6 or 7 flips going at the same time?
So for me, a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll have all these projects lined up, right? So they just kind of keep stuff going all the time. For me, I don't do that. I will only buy a project when my guys are ready to get on it. I can find a project, right? I can always find a project for them. But I won't like right this very second, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 personal ones going right this second. But one of them, well, actually was supposed to close this week, but it's not closing till Tuesday because the lender, anyhow, second appraisal, that's a whole nother story. Another one's listed. So I'm just waiting. I got a contract. We've been kind of negotiating back and forth. And then I've got 3 that we're currently working on. And then actually I have 2 new builds we're working on right now as well. But so my guys are working on all of those. So I basically kind of set them up. Like one of the properties, my guys went in, did all the demo, did all the like plumbing and electrical and getting all that ready to go, replacing the valves and stuff for the plumbing for the showers. The drywall guys have been in there the last 4 days. While those guys are working on the drywall, I pull my crew and they're on another house for me. But I didn't own that. I just bought that house last, what's today, Friday? I bought it on Friday, last week on Friday. So they started on Tuesday on it. So I only owned it for like 3 days before my guys were in there working on it. The other house that I actually have my other crew working on it right now. So I always have my guys working on these houses because where you get overextended is taking too long. The market can shift, right? Even though we try to be in and out in 90 days, the market can shift in 90 days. So we try to get in and out as quickly as we can to make sure that we're not in that. In Templeton, I know, because I've seen some of the stuff, some of them will go a little longer, right? Because he'll have all these projects and he doesn't have enough people to get to them. We all have the same problem.
Yeah.
And he might be 120 days, 180 days. By the time he gets to all of them, he's moving all of them through, and that's where you get stuck. You've got to be able to move quickly enough. The new construction stuff that I'm doing right now is a prime example. I mean, I've been on this stuff for 2 years. 2 years ago, the market was great. Now it's not as good. It's multifamily, so it's a little bit different, but still, like it's just something that is making me nervous. Like it'll be done this week, or I'm sorry, this next week. It'll be done. We'll have C of O on it. It'll be ready to go. And it's like, the price point and everything is not where I was hoping it was going to be. But
what's your plan with that one? Are you gonna flip it, or are you gonna rent it out?
So we're going to have multiple exit strategies on it. So I'm going to list it for sale. I'm going to list it for rent, and then I'm going to start the process of doing the refinance on it as well because I've got a hard money loan on part of it. So I'm going to start it all at the same time, and whatever happens, happens. If I sell it, great. If I don't sell it, then obviously I'll get it rented, and then I'll just keep it and put it in the rental portfolio.
How many units?
It's only 2.
2 units,
duplexes. That one is. The other one I have that we're working on is a 4-plex. And that'll probably be the same.
And it took you 2 years to build this?
Between purchase of the property, design, getting through the city, getting permits, and then the construction.
Wow.
Yep, 2 years. So I haven't done a lot of new construction stuff because of that, because it's such a long term. But I have a client that I've known for years, and he's been doing mostly single family.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, let's partner up. Let's start doing some multifamily. I said, okay. So we actually had 4 of them together. He was doing some other ones, but we had 4 together. We already did 2 of them and sold 2 of them. And then these are the last 2 that we have right now. He wants to do more projects, which I'm okay with, but I want to finish these, right? I want to get done with these. The other 2 were okay, but not home runs, which is okay. But I want to finish these and see where they are and see what happens. And even though I've watched them and everything, it's all good. But back to your point, I don't want to get overextended. I've got a lot of my cash. Even though I did hard money on hard money new build stuff, they don't finance 100%, right? So you got to put 20%, plus they won't do anything with soft costs. And soft costs on these things are like, your permits, your architect, engineering, whatever. I mean, at each one of these projects, I'm about $60,000 a piece just into that part of it, plus the 20%. Like, it ends up being a lot of cash.
You're tying up your cash for the next 24 months.
Yeah, several $100,000.
Yeah,
just in those projects. So it's okay because it's that separate bucket, right, that I put in, even though it's actually running under my same like flipping entity.
Yeah.
it's a separate bucket mentally for me. I just kind of moved that cash over there and just said, I know that that's going to be tied up, and let's see how it works out. And we'll see. It's just like anything, timing of the market. If we would have started those a couple years before and ended up selling them in 21, we would have made a killing on them, right?
Yeah.
You don't know. You can't time the market, so it's all just about continuing to move through. Because if you try to time the market, you're going to miss it, and you're not going to know the market. You're not going to know what you don't know. So we didn't know that going into some of these. This is the first time we were doing some multifamily stuff, and there's stuff that we didn't know. Even the builder client of mine that did a lot of single families, like, wow, I didn't know we had to do this or this permit or this inspection, or it's minimal, but it adds time and a little bit of cost. And we now know we have to do these things, and we both had that discussion yesterday and said, look, we know this. We want to move into some other stuff, but we need to get through this all the way through to make sure, see where we are. Did we make any money? And what could we cut on it when we do another one?
Yeah.
Right? What can we do to make this faster and more efficient, less cost, to be able to make some more money? Because we know that when that happens, once we get past these next ones, we'll be able to make more money.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that, and we'll see. But like I told him, I want to finish these, right? I want to get them done. I want to get the cash back in my account, whether we refinance them and keep them as rentals or we sell them. Either way, it doesn't matter. I want to get through that, because if you're not in, you're not going to know what's going on. So you try to time the market right, and you jump in this year, next year, whatever, saying the market might be better.
Yeah.
You're going to make the same mistakes.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
yes, if the market goes up, you might make some money, but long term, to try to really scale or do anything with it, you can't. So the only way is to be in it all the time. And all the guys that do the fix and flips and wholesale, everything changes, right? All the time, constantly. You have to be in the game to know what's going on.